tired. The chance of life is all around. A chance to take is always found. Oh, writing on the lullabies, on the lonely living life. Oh.
Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000, another turned $2 into $10,000, and a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
'87 Sports Fans Live. Keith Grieve and Steve Taylor here with one last quickie segment before we head to the NFL Hour with Jim Sarantias from thefantasygreek.com. Steve, tell the fans, what's your opinion? How will we remember Kobe Bryant when he retires?
Well, I think hardcore basketball fans will remember him as a great player. Not the best ever, but for a point in his career, he was the best player in the world. For, good 5-6 years, he was the best player in the world. People are going to remember him, fondly as, unfortunately, the guy that got away with rape, which you're going to have people that are going to remember him that way. Maybe, probably not the biggest fan, but I know, that's the sad part. That stigma is unfortunately going to be with him, I think, for at least a while. I mean, it'll probably disappear and just be a footnote in the history books, but most people I think now look at him as just a great player because his resume, his legacy has been tarnished by these last couple years. You know, you had a guy that was riding high, and even though his team, you know, was not really going far in the playoffs, he was still playing great. He was still playing on one of the best teams in the West. And then he had those injury seasons, and now he's playing on a floundering team. I think this is kind of damaging his legacy a little bit. And that's sad, unfortunately, but it's true.
Looking at his career stats here, and we talked a little bit about the points and the assists and everything like that. But as far as per game for his career, 25.5 per game. 45% shooter from the floor. 33% from three-point line for his career now. 84% from the free throw line. 5.3 rebounds per game. Only 2.5 fouls. Now, when did he start getting 20 points per game? Well, that wasn't until his 4th season in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And he still amassed all of these. And everyone wants to point out the fact that he's got extra seasons because he came out of high school. But he came out of high school onto a playoff team that, while they weren't going to the finals, they were still making semi-deep runs, if I remember correctly. So that's extra tread on the tires. So he should be slowing down now. But per 100 possessions, he's averaging 37.6 points, which is 1.5 points higher than his career average right now.
Mm.
So whatever rehab he did in the offseason, if anybody gets injured, call his doctor, his therapist.
Yeah. See, the problem with stats, unfortunately, is most people don't pay attention to them. Because you ask your average basketball fan, you know, why do you love Michael Jordan? Why do you think he's the best ever? Oh, because he scored. He was the best scorer ever. When Kobe Bryant's career's done, Jordan's going to be number 4 on the all-time score list. You know, most people don't know that. You tell that to your average basketball fan, they'll be like, nah, you're lying. I'm like, no. You got Kareem, you got Karl Malone, you'll have Kobe, and then you'll have Jordan. And even Dirk Nowitzki's moving up the list. If he plays a couple more seasons, he could surpass him too. You know, you think about that, and it kind of makes you wonder how fans really look at the players. Like, what's the perspective they're going from? You know, are they moments? Are they certain games? Are they certain seasons? Is it the aura of the players, something that might have been created artificially? You know, Kobe, I always had an issue with him because of his, let's say, his ability to play like Carmelo Anthony. Because he had a lot of years in his career when he was a selfish player, and he admitted to it, but he made that change, and I gave him credit when he made that change in his career, and it was the post-Shaq seasons, where he realized that he couldn't do it by himself, and he needed to get the team involved. I think that's where he made the jump in my book. Because I was a Kobe hater, and then I gained respect for him. And now I do respect him as a player.
Very, very, very well said. Very well said, sir.
Thank you.
Very, very well said. And so now basketballreference.com does this thing where they calculate win shares, whatever that stat means, who cares? But they do it for a bunch of players. Mm-hmm. And then they take the career number or whatever, and then they compare that to players that had similar totals. So for his career, his career scope is closely compared to John Stockton, Reggie Miller, and Jerry West.
Wow. That's a good list.
Yeah, but
I would want to be on that list.
Well, yeah, I mean that's rarefied air, but how many titles did those guys win? You know what I mean? I want to think of Kobe as being better than that, and I realize you're getting really nitpicky right here, and that's fine. But you know, I don't know. John Stockton, one of the record holder for assists.
Yeah, him and Reggie Miller, they never won a championship.
Reggie Miller, Jerry West, I think, did they win 2 with West?
I believe so.
But they lost a lot. They lost a lot of titles, lost a lot of finals.
But that's another thing, though. You know, you look at some of the teams these players have played, you know, they were going against at the time. Poor Jerry West. You know, you want to talk about a juggernaut Celtic team, you know, that's the team that won 11 titles in 13 years. I mean, that was just the ultimate juggernaut with, you know, you got your John Havlicek, you have your Bill Russell, Tommy Heinsohn. You know, you had some of the greatest players in history playing on one team. And the Lakers, they had phenomenal teams, but they just could not win because the Celtics were ridiculous. And then you look at Stockton, you know, he was playing against the great Bulls teams. He was playing against the great Pistons teams. You know, a lot of credit I don't think enough credit goes to what the Bad Boys did. Those couple seasons where the Pistons really owned the NBA, they don't get enough credit for that.
How about,
you know,
when you think about this, they total up these quote unquote win shares, and Jerry West is on that list, only playing 14 seasons. Kobe's in his 18th.
Yeah.
2 names down is Magic Johnson. He only played 13 seasons.
And not only that, you look at Jerry West, you know, he's playing in an era that doesn't have a three-point line, and you need to pretty much draw blood or break a bone to get a foul call.
Right.
It's a much different, and that's why I've never been a big fan with comparing, you know, past players to modern players, because to me, I have more respect for the past players, and everyone's like, oh, well, they wouldn't be able to keep up with the athleticism nowadays and the speed and the strength. Yeah, but the players nowadays in pretty much most sports, except for maybe hockey, are big wusses compared to what the predecessors were. You know, these guys were getting beat up left and right. Nowadays, you get your finger tapped as you're going up for a shot, and they're crying left and right for a foul. It's just, to me, it's much different, a much different era.
Is that the most lopsided trade in NBA history, Kobe Bryant for Vlade Divac? And Eddie,
I'd say so.
And Eddie Jones?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, well, it's about that time, kids. We're going to take another break. I know this was a short segment here, but we're going to take another break. And when we come back, Jim Sarantias, the Fantasy Greek himself from thefantasygreek.com, will join us. It's time for the NFL Hour, kids. You're listening to 87 Sports Fans Live on Late Night Sports Radio.
Baby, you're a mystery. Tell me what's a girl gotta do? Looking at the history doesn't seem to